Mohan, let me begin with you. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister has just a short while ago responded to Sonia Gandhi's letter. He is saying that, there is an attempt to politicize parliamentary sessions and hijack them for politics of it all. It has never been a convention that any agenda of the parliament session is disclosed in advance. So why is the opposition getting so jittery about it?
Shivani, I'm not sure what the Parliamentary Affairs Minister is talking about. The monsoon session just got over. There was an all-party meet convened a day before the session. We're at that point now where the decision to convene a session rests with the government, right? It's taken by the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, and then the President issues a notification to that effect. That notification has been issued. There's been maybe 6 times, I think, when we've had a special session, not counting no confidence motions. And every time it has been fairly obvious what the session's been about. If you start from the very first session, which was convened on 14th and 15th August to mark India's independence, the Indo-China War, the special session to mark the special jubilee of India's independence in 1972. So you've had a lot of, 6, I think, main special sessions, and it's always been very transparent and clear what these sessions are going to be about. Now you're in a unique position where you have no idea what the session's about. There is rampant speculation on maybe even the name India being removed or replaced in the constitution to only be Bharat, right? They're interchangeable names. So and there are media reports that say that the agenda will only be finalized after the G20 meet on 8th and 10th. So I think Mrs. Gandhi is well within her rights to send a note at this point saying that can we please discuss these very pressing issues for the country. I'm not even sure on what Mr. Piyush Goyal is saying when he's saying you're trying to politicize it. What is it? A special session is being convened where in 5 days you're not going to have 0 hour. The government says we'll only have the business that we want to conduct. Then we are very humbly saying that could you please discuss these issues?
No, fair enough. But there is 12 days to go before that session. As you said, before the 1 day before the session, surely the government will be expected to bring all parties together. I don't discount that.
But
I think the politicization question... No, fair enough. Mohan, I think the politicization question is coming from the fact that the day when the notification came or the news came that there will be a special session, all of the opposition parties suddenly acted like, oh my God, this is not democracy, this is not how it functions, this is a way to take attention away from the alliance meeting and so on and so forth. That's politicization of a special parliamentary session.
How's that politicization? It's basically saying that on a day when anyway the government commands a giant portion of the media coverage, on a day when the opposition is going to get media coverage. Let me ask you a counter question saying that what was the need to announce it on that day so far ahead of time? There was no reason to announce it that far ahead, right?
No, but this is a little problematic. When they announce it ahead of time, it's about, you will crib about the timing about your meeting. But when they don't announce it ahead of time, for example, there is, I think on 16th and 17th, one second, on 16th and 17th, I think the Congress has announced some big plans where even Sonia Gandhi is expected in Telangana. Now, if the government calls for an all-parliamentary meeting on that day, on the 2 days preceding the session, surely you cannot say that this is to ruin our plans in Telangana?
No, we'd have to shift our meeting. It's an internal party meeting. Obviously, we'd have to shift it if the government called for a special session. Our point is that we are very much willing to be part of the session, and we think certain issues should be discussed that were left out in the last session, which was washed out because the Prime Minister refused to come to Parliament until finally we had to do a no confidence motion to have him to come and speak about it.
But it would be a little bit unfair to say that the opposition hasn't made all of these points that are enlisted in Sonia Gandhi's letter today. But I'll come to the discussion part in just a bit. Niti Jain, there is no harm certainly with so much speculation going on that everybody wants to know what this special session is all about. And maybe a 1-day notice is not enough to the opposition.
So Shivani, I think it is a good thing that the Parliament and certain organizations and authorities and agencies don't work by public sentiment. There is a procedure, and I find it rather surprising that Congress is a party that has ruled this country for a majority number of period of years, and they don't understand the small procedure that has been going on for a very long time. It is the president who calls for a session, and before the session starts, the agenda is shared with everybody, and then it goes on to the discussion. The all-party meeting happens and the discussion happens. So the only thing that I understand from this entire chaos that has been going on for the past few months is that this alliance is super scared. They're behaving like scared cats The moment something drops, everybody starts jumping and shouting, "Pata nahi kya ho gaya." So everybody has been coming out with different subjects on what this session is going to be about and all of those things. This is a parliament session. This is going to be in the public domain. This is going to be a discussion, and a special session, sir, as you may know, does not have a 0 hour, does not have a private member bill, and does not have the question hour. That is because the government has something in mind that they want to discuss. So they do not want your recommendations on these topics, on what is supposed to be discussed. This is like somebody is calling a meeting and all the attendees attend with कि हम ये discuss करेंगे. भैया जिसने meeting बुलाई है, he knows what he wants to discuss. This is an important matter that they want to take up in the session.
What is that important matter, Niti?
Like
everybody wants to know what is that important matter.
That is not for us, Shivani, to speculate. No, I understand. I want to know it as well, but it is not for us to speculate sitting on a national television. This is a parliamentary procedure. The government will share the agenda when the agenda is ready, when the time is right.
Okay, when the time is right, the agenda will be shared.
This is nothing hush-hush happening.
No, of course. Fundamentally and ultimately when it happens, it will be in full public display and full public view. But given that it has been announced and there is obviously so much speculation happening, and mind you, sometimes even BJP leaders and spokespersons are partaking in those speculations and assumptions. What are we supposed to do? Not talk about it at all? I don't think that happens in the news business. But anyways, Nalin Mehta, I want to come to you.
You can discuss all the agendas that you want independently. Every topic should be up for discussion. The BJP has never shied away from any of the discussions and any of the topics.
Okay,
but
fair
to
enough.
say that this is going to be the agenda of the session, I don't think that is not okay.
Okay, but I'll come back to the issue about Congress raising the issues they want to raise in a special session, and could that set the template for disruption in that session? But I'll go back to our political guests in just a bit. Nalin Mehta and Rashid Kidwai, I'm coming to you. Nalin, so much buzz, so much speculation, but there's the G20 coming in. And I don't think anybody expects that the parliament session, the special parliamentary session agenda is going to be told to the public or the opposition before that concludes. But do you feel that, the announcement has itself made so much buzz that it has even caught the government off guard? Because there's like so much speculation going on of what could happen, including one election, UCC, there is, the whole India and Bharat debate taking place.
Well, I think it's not an accident that the special session has been called immediately on the coattails of the G20, immediately after that. And there is, like you said, every day you hear of a new possible agenda. It's the Bharat vis-a-vis India debate, the UCC debate, the one election, one nation debate, all of that. We don't know what the formal agenda of it will be beyond the official statement that it's going to be discussing Amrit Kal. The opposition is legitimately asking for, look, what is the agenda of the parliament? I think what we are seeing is a lot of balloons being floated. We are seeing at a time when the opposition alliance was moving forward in its agenda. They had put together social media committees. They were looking at the common candidates and so on. At just that time, look, the entire news cycle has shifted. You are seeing the BJP trying to set the terms of the political narrative and the opposition reacting. You're also seeing the debate about Sanatan Dharm, for example, and all of that. Now, I think it was interesting today that the Prime Minister gave an interview to Money Control and to Network 18 at a time when social media is ablaze with Bharat versus India debate. He didn't get into that. He actually said Delhi is not Hindustan. He used Hindustani words.
Yeah.
So I think what we are seeing is a lot of shadow boxing, a lot of aggression. But you're also seeing the BJP constantly trying to reset the narrative and the opposition reacting. And I think you'll see. I don't see this changing before the special session.
Yeah,
and it may be a total surprise.